Hey yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Captain Blue. We are back with another video. So make sure that you click that subscribe button if you're interested with what the boy is cooking. So uh we are going to be looking at gold for next week. As you can see, it's a clean chart. Remember also next week it's NFP week, so we are also going to be analyzing for NFP. You understand? With this setup, it's a setup that we are going to be looking at from Monday until Friday. You understand? So whatever I'm going to analyze here, this is what we are going to be expecting, me and the VIP group. So also, if you are interested in the setup, make sure that you monitor the setup. So let's get it. uh, so we can see here, overall on gold, we've been seeing gold on an overall bullish move. As you can see, it's been bullish, guys. So if you take your trend line from here, draw it from there, you will see that gold was bullish. You understand? Gold was bullish until it got here. You see here, we have an impulsive move. We had an impulsive move, sorry. We had an impulsive move to the upside, and then rejection, and then another impulsive move, and then rejection. So what we witnessed here, it's the market breaking what? Structure. You understand? And then a pullback, then it went, after that pullback, it went below the what? The trend line, and then retested it, and then it stayed below. So we might be expecting a big movement to the downside. You understand? We might be expecting a big movement to the downside because of what? Gold might be changing direction. You understand? So let us analyze our chart. We are only going to be focusing here. So we are only going to be focusing on where gold gave us uh, the overall high and the overall low. You understand? So here, that's where we had an overall high on gold, and then here, that's where we had an overall low on gold. So we are focusing on what happened when gold gave us the overall high, the overall low, and then it pushed to the downside. As you can see, it was breaking structures to the upside, and then unfortunately here it gave us uh, an overall high. Then it started, after giving us that overall high, it started pushing to the downside, just like that. You understand? Just like that, started pushing to the downside, just like that. You understand? So we can see that when we look at the structure here, ever since gold gave us this overall high and this overall low, it hasn't taken the high, it hasn't taken the low. It's still trading inside the overall high and the overall low, and uh, both areas, there is liquidity resting above both areas and this one. You understand? So let us continue with the setup. Let us continue with the setup. So uh, yeah, we're going to be focusing on what's happening here. So we can see that ever since gold gave us this overall low, right? It pushed to the upside, and then it gave us a pullback, right? And then a push to the a push to the upside, right? So we need to come where we need to check where gold gave us that pullback. If are we having an untested supply there? Sorry, an untested demand. Understand? So we have an untested demand. A demand zone, it's the last bearish candlestick before the push to the upside, right? So we can see that that demand zone was never tested, right? That demand zone was never tested. So we need to just mark it as a demand zone for the people to see, or to identify the difference between a demand and a supply, right? So what makes this demand zone to be valid? You understand? So we need to find out the validations of the demand zone. It's this break of structure here. You understand? It's this break of structure here. It makes what? This demand zone that we are looking at to be valid. You understand? So let me just here, and then break of structure, that's a BOS, and then the market continued breaking structures to the upside, as you can see here. Continued to break structures to the upside, and then unfortunately here we got our what? We got our last break of structure. That's here we got our last break of structure, right? We got our last break of structure, so we need to write it as a break of structure, and then from there we got our overall high there. You understand? We got our overall high. So now, since we got our break of structure right here, and then we saw the market starting to push to the downside, so what made us to confirm this sell? You see these lows here, we got a change of character here, right? This change of character indicated to us that the market might start changing the trend. You understand? The market might start changing the trend. So if we take our eyes up here, we have what? We have the last bullish candlestick before the push to the upside, which is our supply zone. You understand? This is our supply zone. So we have marked our supply zone. You understand? And then just above that supply zone, we have liquidity. You understand? We have liquidity. Since it's NFP week, we don't have to neglect this liquidity, because of if the market starts buying, we might push straight exactly to that area of liquidity. You understand? We might push straight to that area of liquidity. So we marked that liquidity above the supply, right? And then if we take our eyes here, right, we have an imbalance. You can see here we have an imbalance, right? An imbalance, it's a fair value gap. You understand? So we need to mark that fair value gap there that we see. We need to mark that FVG. You can just type FVG. And a fair value gap, it's an imbalance, guys. A fair value gap, it's an imbalance. So you just have to mark it. We have an imbalance there. And then, so here we saw the market giving us an impulse and a small correction, then another impulsive move to the downside. And then here it gave us a what? A supply. And it respected that supply. You understand? It gave us a small supply zone there, and then it respected that small supply. As you can see, from that supply, the market pushed to the downside, right? Since the market pushed to the downside, what are we expecting here? What are we expecting in the market? You understand? And then after that, we see this area, it was the area of liquidity. There was liquidity below here, right? There was liquidity below this low, right? And then after the market, and then the market took out that liquidity. You understand? It took out this liquidity area, and then that means that liquidity area became what? A break of structure. So you can write a break of structure, or you can just leave it as a liquidity area. And then here we have another break of structure here, right? Meaning the market took out that low that it created there. So we can see that the market started breaking structures to the downside, right? And then if we can check also here, we have the last bearish candlestick before the push to the upside, right? And the market mitigated that area, and then it sold on Friday. You understand? Since the market sold on Friday, so but we don't have to be focusing more on that. You understand? So let's complete marking out our structures. And then also here we have another break of structure. This is a major break of structure. This is a major break of structure, right? So we have marked our break of structure. Sorry, just trying to tap this thing. Tapped the wrong things. Yeah, so that's a break of structure. That's a break of structure. So we also have internal break of structures inside uh, these levels. You understand? So you can also mark them. Just for control. These are internal break of structures. These are internal break of structures. So you can also mark them because you don't have to leave out anything there in the market. So that's a break of structure. And then from there, so on gold, what I see, let's remove this, or let's just keep it like that since it had impact in the market, right? What do I see in gold? I see liquidity resting just above here. You understand? I see liquidity resting just above there, meaning we have a lot of sellers in the market on gold. So at some point, before we can even trade NFP, the market must what? Sweep the liquidity, or it must target the liquidity on NFP day. You understand? So as we can see here, we have unswept liquidity. What makes this liquidity? We have these areas here. You see this high, and then this high, and then this one. You understand? That's a triple top. If you take your trend line from there, or if you take this area and then you just draw it like that, you will see that it forms some sort of a what? Of a bearish trend line there. You understand? It forms some sort of a bearish trend line. So let me remove this so that you can see. And then here we had a first touch, and then a second touch, and then we had a what? A third touch of trend line here. And then a lot of people took selling positions from that area, right? And then what are we expecting? You understand? What are we expecting? The only we only have two things that can happen in the market right now. You understand? We only have two things that can happen in the market. You see this area? That's a supply, right? That's a supply zone because it's the last bearish candlestick. It's the last bullish candlestick before the push to the upside, which gives us a supply. And then let's fix this thing. And then above the supply, there is liquidity. You see this supply. Above it, there is what? There is this liquidity here I just told you about. That I'm saying there is a lot of sellers here in the market. You understand? And in order for the market to take out these sellers, it has to come here. You understand? So, what am I saying? I'm saying there are two things that can happen here. Since we have an unmitigated demand and an unmitigated supply here, right? The market can open and then it continues pushing to the upside, mitigates that supply, and then back to the demand. You understand? Once it goes back to the demand, and then NFP on Friday might take us up there. You understand? NFP on Friday might take us up there because of what? There are reasons to buy the market. This supply, this fair value gap, sorry, this supply, this liquidity that's resting there. You understand? Maybe after taking out those areas, then that's where the market can continue selling. You understand? Targeting the what? The overall low here. You understand? So this is the first setup that we are going to monitor in the VIP group. You understand? This is the first setup that we are going to monitor. So I'm sharing it here with you. If you are interested, you can definitely have a look at it, you understand? And then what's the second setup, you understand? The second setup is this one. Since we see that the market has changed direction, it's starting to form a what? A downtrend. We can push to the upside, mitigate this supply zone here, and then the market starts doing what? Pushing to the downside, give us another break of structure here, and then another push, and then a continuation. You understand? To mitigate the what? The overall low, and then from there probably that's where we are going to have a what? A push to this untested supply there. You understand? So this, it's the second view. You understand? This is the second view of the analysis. You understand? So the only two parts that are going to play a major role here, it's these two. This supply and this demand. Once the market breaks above this supply, we are going up, and then once the market breaks below this demand, we are going down. So you just have to monitor what happens when the market pushes to the upside, mitigates the demand, and then are we going to push to the downside to mitigate the demand zone? You understand? Once it mitigates the demand here, is the market resisting, or is the market going to continue pushing to the downside, violate that demand? You understand? So these are the only two setups that we are going to be monitoring on gold. You understand? So, but the first one that I would love to see this coming week, it's for the market to open on Monday, push up, mitigates this supply, and then once it mitigates the supply, and then it starts doing what? Tuesday, it starts playing around, push while pushing to the downside. You understand? Tuesday, and then from there, maybe also Wednesday, while it's trying to push to the downside. You understand? And then by Thursday, if we are sitting here by Thursday, you understand? I would love to see the market breaking above the demand, and then it starts playing around the demand until Friday, so that we can definitely have that NFP push to the upside. You understand? So this is a setup that I will monitor. You understand? But if it doesn't play out like we are expecting, we are going to monitor the second setup. You understand? We are going to monitor the second setup of what sells exactly there, a continuation to the downside. You understand? So this is what we are expecting. So if you were interested in what the boy was cooking, make sure you leave that subscribe button so that you will get notified whenever we drop another video. So yeah, make sure you keep your eyes on the setup. Let's see each other on the next video.